Hello there, guys. It's Saturday, September 30th. My name is Dave Coker, and this is Talking About Finance. And all right, this is the best part of my weekend, where I get to spend time with people who think like I do. People who appreciate the value of money, the time value of money. People who know building wealth isn't a fast process, but it is a deterministic process. It's an easy process if you go about it correctly. You only buy assets that pay you to own them. Dividend-paying stocks, high-yield corporate bonds, rental property. And we all know otherwise, your money is dead money. It's that simple. Will the asset you just bought increase in price or decrease in price? You have no idea. And nobody else, no matter how much you pay them, has any idea either. It's the nature of markets. And it's all rubbish. This notion of gurus who charge for their services, telling you what to buy and what to sell. You got to wonder why they won't take your money to manage. Well, aside from being illegal, many do, and it almost always ends in tears, where money is passed over. And the money that was passed over is lost. It's absolutely lost. And when it doesn't end in tears, you might ask, well, I suspect those who were victimized are too ashamed to raise a case. They lost their money, and they just went away ashamed. It's what people do when they've been defrauded. And that's no way to approach the markets. Just buy assets that pay you to own them. Just buy assets that you know will give you income while you own it. Otherwise, you're really just engaging in a gamble, in a crapshoot. And you really can't do that. So if you buy these assets that pay you to own them, you'll be laughing all the way to financial independence. And all I can say is just keep at it. Invest early, invest often, learn all you can about the market. And that's why you're here this evening, to talk about finance. So let's go. Wow, another terrible week for the S&P 500, which closed down about 0.7%. Only 3 sectors finished up on the week: energy, materials, and discretionary. The remaining sectors all finished down on the week, with utilities bringing up the rear, down some 6.89% in 1 week alone. As I've said before, looking at August and September's poor performance, the month of October is really what you've got to watch out for. The VIX traded up to 17.52, opened the week at 17.20, modestly higher. The 10-year note closed the week at 4.58, up 0.2% on the week, and up 70 basis points, or 0.7% year to date. Finally, risk-free is getting real, in that you can make some real money from it. Oil closed the week at 90.91, up 1% on the week, and up about 13.3% year to date. We're still expecting $100 a barrel oil sooner rather than later. Oh, and yes, of course you're correct. Yesterday was Friday. So I did what you thought I would do. I bought myself some Bitcoin, as I do every week. And if you ain't dollar costing Bitcoin, what's your problem? So let's find out what me and my buddies, some 50 or so finance professionals from all around the planet, talked about last week on a private Telegram channel. And once again, I have to properly introduce us. We are Global Wall Street. And between Telegram and our personal networks on LinkedIn and WhatsApp, we know everyone, absolutely everyone, in global finance. Almost anyone in global finance is just 1 or 2 connections away. And this week we're reporting from Wall Street, from the city of London, we're in Chicago, we're in Los Angeles, and we're in Lisboa. We have people everywhere, absolutely everywhere that matters. So let's go. 7 slides for 7 days. And I might bore you for saying this, but I really enjoy helping people see what's going on in finance and building wealth. This is absolutely awesome. And guys, we do have to talk about this. I wrote a research note about 2 weeks ago. You can pick up excerpts from it on Google News now and Medium, of course. This bull market ain't no bull market. This bull market is a tech market. The S&P 500 is the market capitalization weighted index of the 500 stocks that comprise the S&P 500. Invesco's S&P, the even weight, is an even weighted index that contains all 500 stocks, but they're weighted all the same. Over the same horizon, January 1st, 2023 to September 27th, 2023, the S&P 500, the market-weighted version, was up 12.66%. The equal-weighted version was only up 1.23%. Guys, a bull market is more than 7 tech stocks. It's just the way it is. And really, something happened here. Sorry about that. And really, you got to wonder what's going on with the markets. Where is the money, as we say here? And we're looking at the volume. We can see the volumes falling. This is not characteristic of a bull market where we see an incredible amount of money moving in. Take a look back at March 2023, right before we pulled the switch and we said we're bouncing off the October 2022 lows and we're moving to a new bull market. Well, look at this. We're seeing stocks falling since July. The market has lost over $3 trillion. We're roughly 4% away from correction territory. And still these idiots keep calling it a bull market. They have no idea what they're talking about. The money is just not there. Volume is falling. Now, you know, the first trading day of every month, I buy stocks using dividends that have been paid over the prior month. So I had about $5,000, typically most months, roughly that. Last month I had about $5,000. I wanted to buy some stocks. I've got a dividend payer in my portfolio. I never name tickers because I'm not pitching stocks to you guys. It's got about a $3 billion market cap. Trades about $750 million, maybe $1 billion a day. When I did the trade, I couldn't buy 5,000. My broker broke it up into 3 different trades. There is no liquidity, or I shouldn't say it so strongly. There's very low liquidity in the market. And again, that's not a sign of a bull market. But still, guys, we know if you want to make money in the market, if you approach it correctly, yes, finance is magic. Why? Because compounding is the most magical, the most powerful force you could believe. And when you apply the power of compounding working in your favor, you receive every month cash from your dividend-paying stocks. Every month you reinvest the cash from your dividend-paying stocks into additional shares of dividend-paying stocks. Compounding is working for you, and the way your wealth explodes, the growth is magic. Give it a try. It's really amazing. And you really got to be careful about this. You know, I had some idiot today approach me on Medium. And I don't mince any bones about it. I mentioned I'm a retired investment banker. I mentioned who I worked for. I mentioned my education. I've been educated up to the doctoral level. And I talk about finance and talk about trading constantly. And this idiot who goes under a screen name, I'm not going to name him, but JC Almighty, come on. You can look me up on LinkedIn and see I'm for real. This idiot's going under a screen name, and he writes some swarmy comment, and he closes it. If you ever want investment advice, you can get in touch with me, Dave. Yeah, okay, sure, Mr. Anonymous person. Amazing. So yeah, Finfuencers are scum of the earth. And this guy's a Finfluencer, just dressed up a little bit differently. And you can see here, buy low, sell high. This is for the free advice, duh. And more detailed advice is available if you want to pay some money. And the thing about this, guys, is this. You need to manage your finances. Nobody should be in this position where they see a pending payment and they're freaking out because they only got a certain amount of money in their bank account, and they know in X days it's going to be debited for perhaps more money than they've got. So you do need to manage your finances properly. That means put together a budget, and don't slavishly pay attention to the budget. Just watch where you are with respect to the budget and try to make informed decisions about spending so you're not put in the position of this poor young lady. All she needs, I hope she's listening, all she needs to do is to get a budget, track it, keep track of your upcoming payments, and as long as they're not a surprise, you'll be a much more comfortable individual. And this is a good one about criminals in Bitcoin. Because, guys, you're always hearing the government officials talking about, and elected officials talk about how Bitcoin's always used by criminals, only used by criminals, I should say. Rubbish. Criminals use privacy coins. How digitally illiterate and ignorant can some people be? If I was a criminal, which I'm not, if I was going to be doing something that generated money and I wanted to disguise the source of funds before I moved it into my bank account, to make sure that I wasn't accused of money laundering and things like that, I would move it through a privacy coin. And yet you still see people in the States testifying that criminals, most of the people buying Bitcoin are criminals. Complete rubbish. All you're doing is showing how digitally illiterate and ignorant you are. And what a surprise. Most of the elected officials in the States are in their 70s or 80s. Do most of them even know what day it is? I doubt it. And finally, guys, a really fascinating chart here. Now, we're going to go through it very briefly. I'll leave it to you to go through in quite a bit more detail. But this is really fascinating. Watch this. So the way you read it, you start at the beginning, right in the middle. And the line that forms goes clockwise. And this is called the Bitcoin spiral clock. I've seen many versions over the years. And what this individual's done, or the people creating it, and they probably have software, I don't know how they do it really, don't really care, is as you move clockwise, you'll notice the price of Bitcoin increases. The yellow line gets further away from the $1 point, which is at the origin. Actually, the origin's far less than $1, far less than 1 penny, but it doesn't map well. So you'll see Bitcoin crossed $10, then it crossed $1,000, then it crossed $10,000, and each one of these crossing points corresponds with a halving. So we can go back and look at the price of Bitcoin for all the previous halvings. And I'll leave it to you to go through in detail and look at the blocks. We're looking at roughly, if you look at the outer circle, we're looking roughly at how many blocks are mined during each period. And guys, it's really interesting because we're closing in on the next halving. We're roughly at 9:45 in the morning. The next halving, of course, is at 12 noon. 12 noon corresponds with May 2024. What will the price of Bitcoin be then? Nobody knows. However, part of the reason why, or one of the key drivers why, I buy Bitcoin every Friday morning, and I've been doing it, I'm not going to tell you what price, I've been doing it for a long time, since 2014. One of the key reasons is this. I am confident in the future, Bitcoin will be worth more than what I'm paying for it today. Even today when it's trading at roughly 26 to 27,000. I suspect Bitcoin will be worth more in the future. I didn't name the date, I didn't name the amount, but if you apply that quote to pretty much every point on this graph, you'll see that I'm right. The price of Bitcoin's only gone up over the past 13 years. Where's it going to be in the halving, 2024? Think about it. Do yourself a favor. Put a little bit of capital into Bitcoin. Buy Bitcoin regularly. You don't have to buy a lot. Buy $10 a week, $100 a week. If you're a high roller, $1,000 a week. But be kind to your future self. Buy some Bitcoin today. That's it, guys. As usual, it's been wonderful chatting with you. You have an excellent week. Keep the PMs coming. You got any questions at all, you know I'm ready and willing to follow up on Skype to help you guys understand finance, as well as cryptocurrencies. Chat later.